Want to run faster, jump higher, move with more power? The Sports Recovery and Development Program at Bridges Therapy Group builds speed, strength, agility, and endurance while correcting movement issues that can cause injury. Give your athlete the edge. Schedule an assessment today at srdathlete.com. In today's episode, we head out to Springdale and catch up with Brett Hobbs, who is looking forward to seeing what his team can accomplish and build on after their 2024 season. And we hear from Bentonville head coach Jody Grant what he says he learned under legendary head coach Barry Lunny Sr. as he enters his 11th season with the Tigers. It is Wednesday, August 27th, and this is Varsity Vibe Today. Welcome into Varsity Vibe Today. I am your host, Alyssa Orange. Glad you're with us once again as we get closer to the football season. Let's jump in. It is our Lewis Automotive opening drive. Looking to upgrade your vehicle? It's the trade-in, trade-out event at Lewis Automotive. Get double the factory warranty, all backed by the Lewis Guarantee, happening now in Fayetteville, Springdale, and Farmington. One team we haven't talked about much yet is the Springdale Bulldogs, but don't worry, this Bulldogs team looking forward to what they can build on from that 2024 season they had a year ago. They started off the year 6-0 for the first time in 15 years. Brett Hobbs, who took over this program a handful of years ago, trying to get it back to where Springdale was when people think fondly of Springdale High School. On that team in 2024, they had 26 seniors. It is not that senior heavy this year. They've got a lot of big shoes that they have to fill. But when I talk to Coach Hobbs, he's just excited because he believes the foundation is there for this program to continue to see success. Springdale head coach Brett Hobbs joining us. And coach, I know that you have a lot of exciting things to look ahead to, specifically after the way that you guys started last season and carrying a lot of that momentum into 2025. How are you feeling in game week with your squad on Friday?
You know, it is nice coming off a successful season. I think it gives some of our guys confidence that maybe we haven't had in the past, and just being able to know that we can go out there and compete and be successful. However, you know, last year's success, it's not going to translate into any more wins this year. It's a whole new team, and we've got to go out there and we've got to earn it each and every Friday night. I am excited about this team. We do have a lot of some young kids as far as getting their first varsity experience, and we kind of saw, you know, some of that in the scrimmage with Shiloh on Friday. And then also we have a really good core group of returners coming back. A lot of guys that have, you know, have had pay the price, you know, in years past and play as a sophomore probably before they were ready at times. But now I think with that experience, it's going to help them out. And hopefully it'll help some of those young kids that are going to have to step in there. Hopefully their leadership will help them.
You talk about guys kind of stepping up. You had 26 seniors on your team last year. I think you have like 16 seniors or so this year.
Right.
But kind of seeing these guys who are now upperclassmen, seeing what it was like to have that success from the guys before them. How have you maybe seen their work ethic, their attitude change into this year, knowing that they're the guys everyone's looking at?
Right. I think it just gives them the confidence, you know, that they were out there and they've seen both sides of it, you know, when they were really young sophomores, not having the success. But then last year, you know, with our team success and a lot of individual success with players that are returning, I think it'll help, you know, the entire team. And that's what we really need, especially for those young guys that we're going to be counting on this year.
Well, you look at your offense, you had a quarterback battle going on. How did that go? And do you feel like, again, I know iron sharpens iron, the competition there. What does it look like there in the backfield at your QB position?
You know, this is the first time that we've actually had, you know, a quarterback battle and great competition. And it's been really good for both of them. I think that they've got to bring their A game each and every day. I think that, you know, each quarterback brings a little bit something different to the table. You've got, you know, Carlos Hernandez, who he knows the system the best. He actually had to play against Bentonville last year when we had some injuries. He's only a junior. And then you have Chandler Moore that came in. He transferred in from Harbor. He does a really good job as far as managing the game. He showed a lot of poise in the scrimmage against Shiloh. And then you have Orion Lietu, who's only a sophomore, but his upside is, through the roof. He's 6'5", 210 right now, that can run well and can really throw the ball. The only thing that he's lacking, obviously, is kind of the experience. He didn't play junior high football last year, so this is his first live action in a couple of years. So it's going to take a little bit for him to, settle in and get comfortable. But right now, I still think that it's pretty much open. I think that we're going to have a dual quarterback and a little bit of rotation, and then hopefully by the time, conference rolls around, we definitely have that starter because, it is difficult when you have a 2 quarterback system or rotating those guys in. So we're hoping that in these non-conference games, we'll be able to, see who really kind of takes over that role going into conference play.
So with that being said, what exactly are you looking for out of those guys to set themselves apart?
I think just being comfortable with the offense. I think, managing the offense, but not try to force anything. Protect the football because, we're trying to slow the game down. We really like running the football. We run the option. We rely heavily on our defense and everything. So I think just managing, the game and not turning the ball over is 2 of the most important things, I think, for the quarterback.
Looking now on the defensive side of the ball, how are you feeling about those guys as the season starts as well?
I think that's going to be the strength of our team, especially up front with our D-line and linebackers. We have Junior Rodriguez, who was voted 7A West Newcomer of the Year last year as a sophomore. He's a really good player that's going to be a handful on the defensive line. And then we have 3 all-conference players coming back, 2 of them at linebacker, and then 1 that played linebacker that we moved to safety. And those guys, Shim Paul, a middle linebacker for us, Easton Hahn, who also plays a middle linebacker, and then Raxon Retcham, who was an all-conference player at outside linebacker, but we moved him to safety this year. So we're all excited about having those guys back. And then, with Jacoby Mason, who's going to be playing both sides of the ball at wide receiver and corner, he kind of gives us that experience. And, we're going to be putting Jacoby on, the team's best receiver. So he's got a lot of pressure on him. But with that experience, and he has the confidence, I feel comfortable with him being able to do that.
So with all of that being said, what are maybe 3 key things that you want to see out of your team on Friday night?
Absolutely. First thing is toughness. I want to see, that's kind of what we hang our hat on is, we may not be the biggest, fastest, strongest, but we're going to be tough and we're going to be physical. I want everybody to know, hey, play hard. No matter if you're going to make mistakes, and we understand that. And as long as you're playing, as hard as you possibly can, no matter the outcome, you can always walk off the field with your head held high. And then I would say definitely, look like they've been coached. I mean, as far as our players going out there, being able to execute, just looking like, hey, we've got our stuff together, and if you put all those 3 things together, I think that can be a remedy for success.
It sounds like you trust the talent. You're just getting the guys to kind of use the thing in between their ears.
Absolutely. 100%.
Well, best of luck to you, Coach. Thank you so much for the time. Excited to see what Springdale does this football season as we follow along in the 7A West. And of course, I guarantee you won't be the last time we're talking to you and your guys this year. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Springdale opens up their season on the road at Little Rock Central. Coming up after this, Jody Grant going to join us. And if you missed our conversation with him on our Varsity Vibe story episode that came out on Tuesday, go check that out. Really good to talk to him, pick his brain about what his career has been like over the last couple of years, and specifically what he learned under legendary head coach Barry Lunney Sr. That after this.
If you're an athlete that wants to improve your game, maybe improve your 40, jump higher, have better agility, Bridges Therapy Group's Sport Recovery and Development Program can help. They've been helping student athletes reach their highest potential for quite a while now. They've got a team that includes physical therapists, athletic trainers, personal trainers, and occupational therapists. And together, they design individual plans to build speed, explosive power, agility, strength, and endurance. Whether your athlete's returning from rehab or working for a competitive edge, SRD provides the training and guidance to help them succeed. Schedule your athlete's assessment today at srdathlete.com.
Quick Turf is the go-to team for building championship-level sports facilities for public schools, private schools, and the entire school district. They also install beautiful backyard putting greens for homeowners. Known for lifelike, eco-friendly turf, Quick Turf handles everything from design and lighting to drainage and final landscaping. Their all-in-one approach delivers high-performance surfaces for athletes and low-maintenance greens that last for years. With preventative maintenance programs, they keep every field and green looking game day ready. Schedule a free consultation today at quickturf.com. That's QIKturf.com.
Matt Lewis with Lewis Automotive Group, excited to announce our trade-in, trade-up event. During this event, you get thousands extra for your trade value. Plus, it's all backed by the Lewis Guarantee. Double the factory warranty. That's a 10-year, 120,000-mile powertrain. Plus, you get 1 year worth of maintenance on us. This event's only going on at Lewis Automotive Group and is at all of our locations in Fayetteville, Springdale, and Farmington.
Could a little extra support help your child shine even brighter? Bridges Therapy Group empowers kids to live their best life with expert pediatric therapy services tailored to their needs. Their team offers occupational therapy, speech therapy, and physical therapy, guiding families from the first evaluation to every milestone along the way. Give your child the tools to succeed and shine. Visit btgpeds.com to learn more and schedule your appointment today. That's btgpeds.com. Welcome back. Bentonville Tigers head coach Jody Grant entering his 11th season as the head coach. But before then, he spent numerous years as the defensive coordinator under legendary head coach Barry Lunney Sr. In a conversation that I was able to have with him before the season started, I asked him exactly what it was like to work under him and what he's learned and applied to as he has led this program since 2015.
I think if I could take a lot from him, holding kids to a high standard is important because some people aren't bold enough to do that as a coach or as a leader or whatever. And it's not easy. It's not easy because you feel like you're on kids about everything, but kids want to be held accountable. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And Coach Lunney taught me that, sometimes as parents of our own kids, we get so tired of disciplining them. We don't even hold our own kids. I'm referring to myself as a father here. We don't even to a standard, but we're willing to hold other people's kids to a standard. So that's something that I think is important that I've learned. The value of just the relationship with your coaching staff. Coach Lunney mentored all of us on his staff, through our own issues, our own stories. He promotes his faith. He doesn't shy away from that, which I appreciate and have learned and try to continue. He helps you if you're having, marital issues or just struggles within your marriage. He was always there for just fatherly advice. I used him a lot. My son was our quarterback last year. He coached his two sons, Barry Lunney Jr. and Daniel Lunney, to state championships when they played for him. And so I think he would tell you he got one of them right and one of them wrong. And so I always said, well, tell me, I want to know what you learned from kid to kid so I could do a good job for my own son, because that's not easy to do. And so I could go on and on about what I've learned from Coach Lunney. I'm blessed to have him keep coming around, and he just comes around just to check in, not just on me, but my staff pretty much is still intact from when he was here. So he's just a blessing to a lot of us.
You can find that full conversation with Coach wherever you get your podcasts or right here on our YouTube channel. Just go look at our Varsity Vibes Stories episode with Coach Grant that came out on Tuesday. Got a lot of insight from him as a coach, as well as what he's thinking about his Bentonville Tiger team this season. That is going to do it for today's Varsity Vibe. Thank you so much for joining us. A special shout out to our sponsors, Lewis Automotive, Bridges Therapy Group, and Quick Turf. We'll see you tomorrow.